friends, welcome to another fantastic EMN. Transportation is definitely on the agenda in the venue this morning. My name is Eddie Cumins, and I'm your 2024 president. I'd like to begin with the Pledge of Allegiance, and Howard Dalton, if you could help us.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Howard. In honor of our original indigenous inhabitants, I share the following land acknowledgement. As persons living in Sonoma County, and with the gratitude we recognize that we are on the ancestral lands of the coastal Miwok, Homo, and the Wapu, who are the original caretakers of this area. We respectfully acknowledge the indigenous people who have been stewarding and maintaining relationships on this land as knowledge keepers for millennia. Now I'd like to bring up our breakfast sponsor, which is SMART, and Danny, please come on up.
Good morning. I'm not a great public speaker, so I'm imagining you all naked. And I'm going to read, so I don't mess it up. Anyway, we are the Friends of SMART. We're an advocacy group for the SMART rail, trail, and pathway, and rail, trail, and freight. And I want to thank SCA for allowing us to sponsor this opportunity. Friends of SMART Citizen Advocacy Group dedicated to ensuring high-quality public transportation in Sonoma and Marin counties, including reliable passenger trains with an associated pathway and compatible freight service. Our mission is advocating for North Bay passenger freight rail and completing the multi-use path. In 2023, the Friends of SMART arranged 2 separate tours in conjunction with Bay Area Transit Month. One memorable tour, Sonoma County Airport to Larkspur, to the San Francisco Ferry, to the Salesforce Gardens, included about 30 people and docents ranging in age from 98 to 4 years old. Friends of SMART has sponsored booths at the Hillsburg Earth Day Fair, and we'll be there again this month, 4/21, in case you wondered. And we also help support SMART's community booths at the Sonoma County Air Show, where Friends of SMART docents mingled with riders and provided information on how to use the new EV shuttle to destination points such as Sonoma County Air Show and Russian River Brewery. Our members represent a deep seat of railroad retirees, engineers, scientists, lawyers, and professionals involved in many other environmental and transportation sectors. Quite a few of the original visionaries, unfortunately, have passed away. Friends of SMART has long envisioned a Founders Grove to recognize them. Some names you might remember include Marine Supervisor Charles McGlaskin, Bill Cordham, Lionel Gamble, Willard Richards, Walter Strakvich, Beachstrow, to name a few. These folks invest countless hours of thinking, writing, phoning, and meeting until the first Measure R failed in 2006. Undaunted, they went back to work and improved their vision statement. With much help from the leadership and many electeds and private citizens, many of you who are in the room today, Measure Q passed with the required 2/3 majority in 2008. We had numerous allies, including bicycle coalitions, Sonoma County Alliance, labor unions, and chambers of commerce. Since then, Friends of SMART has continued to support and educate with the purpose of doing everything we can to help SMART be successful. There are too many to mention here. We support and continue to advocate for the completion of the SMART infrastructure, one of the largest projects in the North Bay in at least the last 50 years. Withdraw a few minutes.
That's what you get for imagining.
Our SMART Railroad has been only operating for 6 years, having survived the recession, 2 fires, floods, and that pesky pandemic. Friends of SMART is very proud and supportive of the efforts of staff and the board of directors. especially in their ability to stay focused on securing funding and working to see that the completion of the Larkspur to Cloverdale line fulfills the promise made to voters. Ridership is up and rising, and the new marketing plan is fabulous. We welcome Eddie to this forum and invite you to visit friendsofsmart.com for more information. My name is Danny Sheehan, and our guests include Jack Swearingen, Chair of Friends of Smart, Dave Alden, founder of Petalilla's Urban Chat Forum, Know Before You Grow, and thank you and enjoy the morning.
All right. Thank you, Danny, and Friends of Smart. So,
That's smart.
all right, is it working? Okay. But I want to thank Dan and Alejandro for sound ideas and their video every mic.
Who's Dan?
All right.
Get up and show me.
Well, let's just do it this way. It's got a red light, and I don't think it's working. It's working. So thank you, Don, Sound Ideas. Please watch the video. It goes on our website every month, so you can always catch up with what the GMM was. I want to thank our sustaining members. You make the alliance and you support us in a lot of different ways, so we really appreciate that. I want to thank all the volunteers who chair our committees. It is a volunteer organization, so the chairs, the volunteers on those committees are very important to us. And for the newer members or old members that want to join the committee, please do. You know, it keeps us relevant. You have new ideas and new thoughts that help us move forward. So as you think about the program today, think about transportation as one of our committees. So with that, I'm going to introduce Ty, who's working devilishly to get batteries going on the microphone. See if we work.
All right, well, that's a fun morning.
That's working.
Now it's working.
Yeah, new batteries will do that. All right, well, good morning, everyone. I hope we're all awake now. I want to start by thanking our new and our renewing members this month. So look at the screen. Can we get a round of applause for everyone that joined? Also want to follow up. We talked on, I think it was a February meeting, we had an AI program where Ryan Kelly came in and did a artificial intelligence 101, and when we told the crowd, they said, we want more. And we want to bring our laptops and we want to apply the knowledge. And so we have answered the call. We have an AI workshop. It's coming up in May. And well, this month, here we are. And more on that will be coming out. But this is a program that's going to be going global. It's going to be really expensive, and you're getting it at such a low rate from the Alliance as a member benefit. So look out for information on that. I'll be sending emails, and also it'll be on our website. You can register there. So thank you to Ryan. He's here today. Other things to mark on your calendars, we have an education program, not in May. It's got Dr. Amy Carter, and it's also got Larkin O'Leary, who's here today. Thanks, Larkin. We also have our Skate Pack Golf Tournament. That's May 2nd. And then in mid-May, we have our workshop, and Bocce for Books is on the 13th. If you haven't already registered for the golf tournament, please do that now. We're getting our numbers in, and we want to make sure you have a spot. Big shout out to the Farm Bureau for sponsoring the award sponsor. And if you'd like to sponsor, we do have openings for that too. So go to our website, it's all there. You can email myself, you can email Scott, and we'll get you in. Same thing with Bocce. These are great fundraisers, they go to a great cause, so hopefully we see you there. And then as always, I'm keeping it short so we can get to our program. I want to put out a special call. We need to grow, we need to diversify. This is critical if we want to make educated decisions on behalf of our community as a whole. So please help us do that. Bring your friends, come sit at the table, come share your voice, your vision, your perspective. We need it here. Thank you so much. And I'll pass it off to our committee chair for transportation, Mark, who's going to give us a committee report. Thanks, Mark.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Mark Soylan. If we haven't met, shame on you for not introducing yourself to me. Not one of these So I have a company it's a second generation company. Marlene helps me run it. And I have my nephew Rex and my niece Carly here. It's awesome to see you guys here, next generation stuff. I am the new chair of the Transportation Committee. We are trying to reinvigorate the committee. And so I'd like to start with asking all the committee members to raise your hand so I can acknowledge you. So we have Danny, we have Steve Bertelbaugh, we have Janet Connors, we have Peter Lescure, Brian Ling, we have Mike, we have Joe Gaffney, and that's it. Awesome. So today, obviously, transportation's on our mind. You're going to hear from two really great speakers. I've had the pleasure of working with James quite a bit over the last couple of years at Sonoma County Transit Authority. I think it's going to be a great presentation. I'm not going to say anything that might steal his thunder. But our committee is going to be looking at things like bus transit, pedestrian and bike improvements throughout the county. We're looking at 101, what's left. We're looking at Highway 37. What a big topic. What a big, big topic. We have a lot of things to cover and try to bring to the membership for updates. So be on the lookout. That's our number one goal, is to try to get membership updates to you. Parting shot. I want to remind everyone that the Sonoma County Alliance, and with people like Suzanne Smith and others, the Alliance helped this area get all that it has transportation-wise, because we became a self-help tax region many years ago. A lot of you in the room recognize that, and we ought to pat each other and pat ourselves on the back for what this membership, what this group has done for the region, for transportation issues. It's remarkable. So thank you for that, and that's all I've got.
Thank you, Mark, very much for your time and energy with the Transportation Committee, and everyone who's volunteering on that. We're going to do introductions, so if you have a guest, please make sure you put the card in this beautiful basket that Ty is going to carry around, and you have an option to win a bottle of wine or some fantastic beer. So my name is Paul Yones. I work at Exchange Bank, and I'm the Senior Lending Officer.
All right, you guys are going first over here. All right, Brian, kick us off.
Brian Lane, commercial residential real estate broker.
Doug Williams, retired.
Jeff Harrison, wishing I was retired. Sonoma County Resource Recovery, the garbage company in Windsor, general manager.
Frank Pipgrass, commercial real estate, and I have a guest, Daryl Weiss, realtor in ag and vineyards.
Gary Arabian, CVRE, commercial real estate brokerage.
New member, Paul Pastorino, Pastorino Consulting.
Pete Lescure, Lescure Engineers.
Rob Sanville, KLH Consulting.
Don Mills, Couvert Brewery.
All right, if you're a guest, put a card in here. Win some wine or beer.
Me again, Danny Sheehan, Friends of Smart. I have two guests, Jack Swearingen, Chair of Friends of Smart, and Dave Alvin, Chair of Urban Chat.
Good morning, I'm Mick Menendez, Pacific Advisors. I have a guest this morning, Terry Sarto, TSL Consulting. Excellent, excellent HR performance coaching. Let's welcome Terry. And although Wendell's a member, I do want to recognize something, is that for over the past decade, Wendell and Canyon Rock have supported the Skate Pack Golf Tournament like none other. So round of applause for Wendell.
Thank you. Wendell Traffic, Canyon Row.
James Cameron, I'm the Executive Director of the Sonoma County Transportation Authority and Regional Climate Protection Authority. Looking forward to speaking with you all this morning.
Eddie Cumins, Smart General Manager. Jack Sorensen, Chair of Friends of Smart, but to confess, Danny's doing all the work lately.
Steve Bertlebaugh with Friends of Smart.
Hi, Jen Collini with Leap Solutions, and I have a guest today, Jeff Quackenbush from North Bay Business Journal. He's a reporter there, been there for over 25 years.
Good morning, Kelly Ray from Wine Country Radio.
Sherry Granzato, Wine Country Radio, The Crush, Bob, Exitos and Latino.
Nisa Hinton, working in senior healthcare with assisted living and good friends with the old radio people, also on the Sebastopol City Council.
Good morning, Dana Ghirardelli, Executive Director of the Sonoma County Farm Bureau. Kathy Goodacre, I'm with Career Technical Education Foundation, and I am super happy to introduce my guest today, Susan Boyle, who is the new Marketing Communications Manager at CTE Foundation.
Good morning, Howard Dalton, Exchange Bank Advisory Board and HD Consulting.
Art Dexter, Leduc and Dexter Plumbing, Super Service Board.
Mark Soiling, Stony Point Quarry, Grab and Grow, and Soils Plus.
Art Dykey, Not That Hard, Environmental Pollution Solutions. Jack Byrne, Navigate Inc., and happy to be a new member.
Bill Bolster, Electro-Optical Components, and just to clarify things, I'm a nerd. If you go to our website and you have insomnia some night, go to our website, it will put you to sleep. Unless you're a nerd.
Good morning, Dick Dowd, retired past president of the Alliance.
Good morning, Lori Rooney, North Bay Biz Magazine.
Rosie Dia, North Bay Biz Magazine.
Hi, Kevin Zuko, CFA Structural Engineers.
Teresa Scott with Western Health Advantage.
Eris Weaver, Executive Director of the Sonoma County Bicycle Coalition, and yes, I rode my bike in here this morning.
Tony Spisman with 707 Promotions, and I brought my son as a guest. His name is Marcus Navarro.
Good morning, Kristen Byrne, Pruitt Industrial Park.
Good morning, Natalie Lovano, Pruitt Industrial Park.
Good morning, Ryan Bucksbaum, next one staff.
Dan Rosacci with Morgan Stanley, self-appointed guest.
Kelly Beck, Exchange Bank, Commercial Lending Group.
Marlene Soyland, Soyland Management.
Rex Barney, Holly Construction.
Carly Rodriguez, Midstate Construction.
Jeff Riley, Taveri Environmental Consultants.
Roy Martinez, Exit Strategies Group and board member of PEP Housing.
Sean Jean, Relgene Race Consulting Engineers.
Hey, hi, good morning. Katie Dillwood from Christopherson Builder.
Good morning, everyone. Kevin Jones from Fast Items of Santa Rosa. I have two guests with me this morning. Shuey Sindel, portrait photographer, and Cindy Potter, graphic designer. They are both professional, talented, and fun.
Kelly McGuire, medical insurance, private and group, or individual and group, and real estate, yes.
And Joe Gaffney, St. Vincent de Paul.
And Jeff Owen with Exchange Bank.
Dave Alden, Petaluma Urban Chat.
Good morning, Scott Ormrod, Leap Solutions Group, now a division of George Peterson Insurance Agency.
Good morning, Janet Connors, Summit State Bank and immediate past president of the Alliance. And my guest this morning is Herman Hernandez of Hernandez Realty.
morning, Brian Barrett, financial advisor with New York Life and Eagle Strategies, and I have a guest this morning. This is Keith Roberts in the office with James Gore. Direct all your problems to him.
Tracy Russo, Hogan Land Services.
Nick Caston, financial prodigy, business strategy and consulting.
Larkin O'Leary, Common Ground Society, and I have a guest with me this morning, our nonprofit consultant, Colleen Metz-Rouleau.
Rick Carlisle, BKF Engineers.
Jason Lee, Sonoma County Office of Education. I have a guest with me this morning, Robert Inskeep with Yarborough Brothers Towing.
Eric Schmies, Golden State Lumber.
Morning, Aaron Smith with Adobe Associates.
Kevin Marks, CFA Structural Engineers.
Dennis Wilkinson, former owner of DNS Awards, and I guess technically still a guest.
Kurt Nichols, retired past president.
Mike Martini, Task Rate Winery.
Ken LaFranchi, architect. Conrad Fernandez, Fidelity National Title.
Ernest Burkhoff, broker and CEO at Burkhoff Realty.
Scott Kincaid, Facility Development Company, Chair of Sonoma County Alliance Political Action Committee. Do join us on our golf tournament May 2nd. Please sponsor and participate. Thank you.
Andrew Lewis with DC Engineering Group.
Good morning, Jeff O'Krepke, George Peterson Insurance, and Santa Rosa City Council.
Mike Pickens, operating engineers, Local 3.
Joe Stewart, Professional Firefighters, Local Sonoma County 1401.
Jack Pollard with the Progressive Tribal Alliance.
Ramsey Brown with Exchange Bank, Commercial Real Estate and Business Lending.
All right, I think the almost or supposed members are going to be new members soon, right?
All right, we got the winners. We got Robert from Yarborough Towing. And Cindy Hart. So if you want the beer, get up here. If you want the wine, hurry up too. Is Cindy here?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Very good beer.
Hey Don, is that good beer?
It's very good beer.
It's very good.
Very good.
All right. We appreciate that donation every month. Thank you. All right, today we are with transportation and we're navigating the road ahead. Challenges, opportunities in Sonoma County transportation. And we have two great presenters. We have James Cameron and Eddie Cumins. So James, he's been part of Sonoma County Transportation Authority since 2012, serving as Deputy Director of Projects and Programming until last October when he accepted the role of Executive Director. Congratulations. He is a licensed civil engineer, land surveyor in the state of California with over 20 years of experience working on capital projects in all phases, development including programming, environmental, designing, and construction. Prior to joining the authority, he served as a supervising engineer for the city of Santa Rosa in their capital improvements program and a resident engineer at the California Department of Transportation Division of Construction. Mr. Cameron received a Bachelor of Science degree in Civil Engineering at the California State University of Chico. So James, welcome and please come on up. We look forward to hearing what you say.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I have a lot of great information to share this morning. I think a lot of you are very familiar with our organization. I'm just curious, how many of you have heard my predecessor Suzanne Smith speak from this podium at a prior, exactly. So I'm going to throw a ton of information at you. It'll stimulate conversations, questions. For those of you that I am speaking too fast for or need more background, these slides are going to be presented to all of you. And within this agenda that's laid out before, those are hyperlinks to multiple websites where you can do deeper dives into those things that interest you the most. I'm going to go over the timeline of SCTA and the founding of our organization. I'll talk about our transportation sales tax known as Go Sonoma. Prefer to refer to it as Go Sonoma or Go Sonoma Act as opposed to the alphabet soup of Measure M or Measure DD. Measure M, there's 3 different Measure M's in the county. Measure DD was the renewal of Measure M, which, you know, the city of Oakland has a Measure DD, transportation specific sales tax. So just for that clarity, Go Sonoma or Go Sonoma Act is one of the best ways to refer to our transportation sales tax in this county. I'll go over some of the plans and programs that inform those investments within Go Sonoma, as well as the project updates, and I have timed this to keep it within 15 minutes and to make sure that we get to that Highway 37 topic, which is one of our biggest challenges for the North Bay region. Our timeline. So SCTA was formed in 1990. In 1997, we were given some special legislation that delegated state funding to the organization. At that point, the first executive director was hired. From there, in 2004 is when the transportation sales tax was passed. Some of you may remember it did take 3 times unsuccessfully before it did pass in 2004, making us that self-help county and allowing us to leverage funds. In 2020, it was renewed, referred to as the Go Sonoma Act. And in 2023, we had a combined call for projects for all of our jurisdictions, the cities and the county itself, where our board awarded $67 million in grant funding. Right now, we're prepping for the next funding cycle and to inform those future investments of our transportation dollars. There's some asterisks on this timeline that refer to our 101 program. Our 101 program is something that we're proud of. It was a $1 billion project that leveraged our local transportation sales tax at a rate of 5-to-1 to deliver those carpool lane improvements. Going forward, when we look at our opportunities within Go Sonoma, we are primarily focused on those local road investments here within the county, as well as bus transit and active transportation or bikeways and pathways. What you'll notice here is this is the difference between the 2 voter-approved expenditure plans. So this informs how we spend those Go Sonoma dollars. And you'll see that Highway 101 has been zeroed out because those carpool lanes are open. SMART has been zeroed out as well because this was really just a small part of the sales tax that gave SMART the seed money to get going, pass those initial environmental documents to open up the passenger rail service. Now SMART has its own sales tax. As far as timelines, the Measure M stops revenue in March of 2025. Go Sonoma starts in April of 2025 and extends for another 20 years. The next 3 slides, I'm going to take you through how we inform those investments. So first and foremost is our comprehensive transportation plan. This transportation plan informs all 9 cities as well as the county for all the transportation elements, primarily surface transportation, within their jurisdictions. This is a plan that we update every 4 to 5 years. We're currently starting the updated cycle. This year, we plan to have the update completed in 2026, but starting this summer, we'll be looking for jurisdictions to update their project lists to inform those investments and compare those project lists to meeting our transportation goals within the county. Next, I'm very pleased to talk to you about our active transportation plan, sometimes referred to as our CAT plan, our countywide active transportation plan. This plan went out to the public, doing existing condition surveys to query everyone as to what their concerns were. We got over 1,000 responses back. You can check out this website. You can go to the Social Pinpoint component of it. Social Pinpoint's an online website where you can generate public comment for individual locations, where we got those comments that we now want to put out projects to address those concerns within the community and make those key connections. Later this month, we'll release a prioritized project list. for all the jurisdictions in the county that will allow the public to comment on those prioritized lists and get feedback on how we want to inform the next set of funding. That comment period will go from April through June. I encourage you all to engage when you'll see it on social media as well as press releases. And end of the year, we'll have a draft plan. There'll be another round of public engagement, and then in early 25, we'll have our final CAT plan, a countywide active transportation plan. Finally, just to talk briefly about Vision Zero. Vision Zero is an ongoing, both an implementation plan as well as an ongoing program that informs our investment. If I can give you one takeaway from Vision Zero, it really is a public mind shift that we would like to see, and that's referring to collisions within our transportation system. When they're referred to as accidents, an accident implies that they're unavoidable. To make that shift to where it is no longer an accident, but a collision that is avoidable, and having that mindset, we can work towards and meet our Vision Zero goals. Also, in addition to the implementation,
Close you get, louder.
I can yell, but I'll probably annoy Steve. But, I can talk loud. How's this, Steve, if I talk like this? Fine. Not too bad? Oh, now is it on again? Or this one on? Hello? Can you hear me now? No. It only turns on for a second, then turns it back off. Okay. Dylan. Hey. All right. Game on. No. So, what a day. Our Vision Zero plan that we have. I also just want to refer you all to an amazing data dashboard, right? So we have some data experts at SCTA that have made a data dashboard that you can go in and see what type of accidents, not accidents, what are they? Collisions, okay, thank you. And what type of collisions that are happening on our road system that will really truly inform how we spend our transportation dollars to address those challenges on our system. Moving next to Go Sonoma. So going back to where we are with Go Sonoma, our board has approved a draft implementation plan for Go Sonoma. It also has decided on our first initial investments for our first initial project list for Go Sonoma. So we're moving forward. We are focused on not just meeting the goals of those plans, but also focused on grant funding and leveraging, like we talked about, right? So we want to see 3, 4, 5 times the local investment going towards these projects. And that's why we're taking the holistic approach and focusing on, these are just a few of the bulleted grant programs that we will either seek ourselves or support the local jurisdictions within the county to go after these grant fund sources. I'm going to go through a couple project updates. First off, Hearn Avenue Interchange. This is a multimodal interchange that addresses so much more than just traffic. It addresses the active modes that go across it, right? The walkers, the bikes and peds that go across this interchange. It also addresses transit reliability, so those buses aren't stuck in the congestion. It addresses emergency vehicle access, where you have a two-lane road now that would be congested, where emergency vehicles cannot get through. Also, with regard to safety of those vulnerable users and also safety of Highway 101, it addresses the backup for that southbound off-ramp where you have the rear-end collisions going southbound, and it also elevates the structure. So when you have those high loads going through, the high loads, oh nice. I just don't want to eat into my 15 minutes here and make sure I cover all this stuff. All right, so it addresses those high loads going down 101, so you'll notice the structure right now has some spalls, broken off concrete, so the new structure will be higher to address that. Next project, 116, 121. We have a groundbreaking ceremony on Thursday of this week where we're going to celebrate that. This project is a roundabout. It will be in construction for the next 2 years. It not only slows down traffic for safety of all users, but it also increases operations. So those of you that are going through this intersection now, you will find significant operational improvements for all modes once this new roundabout opens up 2 years. I'm going to touch on a few different projects right now that SCTA is leading within our community. State Route 121 at 8th Street East, we're going to start an environmental document to look at either a roundabout or a signalized intersection at that location. And then one of our big challenges in general is interchanges, right? Hearn Avenue interchange, it's close to $50 million. It's over a $40 million interchange. To accumulate that amount of dollars to invest in one capital project is very challenging. And so on the Fulton Road Highway 12 study that we're conducting right now, we're looking at near-term, mid-term, and long-term opportunities to address the biggest concerns at that interchange location, or currently it's an at-grade intersection. So with that approach, we hope to have the most important needs met much longer than, say, the decade or decade-plus project development period that interchanges can take to be able to deliver in this county. The biggest challenge by far, though, State Route 37. I'm going to do a few slides here on State Route 37 just to give you the background. 21-mile corridor through the environmentally sensitive San Pablo Baylands, partnership between SCTA, the 4 North Bay County Transportation Authorities, SMART, MTC, and Caltrans all working together to address this multi-billion-dollar program. The detours just don't work. 121 and the Richmond-Centerfeld Bridge are already congested. They're 40 miles around this 40 plus miles around this 20-mile corridor. Congestion, flooding, sea level rise ever increasing are the issues that we're dealing with. Done extensive studies for an inland retreat as well as a bridge over San Pablo Baylands, looking at many different alternatives. Preferred alternative on the existing alignment as a causeway. All of the groups can rally around this existing causeway on the a new causeway on the existing alignment. It's been broken down into 8 different segments. Those 8 different segments have what's called logical termini and independent utility, so you can advance a segment. The reason why you want to advance a segment is because the whole project itself is between $6 and $11 billion. We've been working on Highway 37 at the Transportation Authority since before 2015. And when you look at the amount of effort that goes into these planning efforts and to deliver these mega projects, I'm gonna zero in on what the public will see the most, the soonest, which is Project 2 and Project 7. So here's what Project 2 is. Project 2 is a causeway from Highway 101 to Atherton. It's a $1 billion causeway. It's environmentally cleared right now to where if you had the $1 billion, you could design it and build it. There's a little less than $200 million available. They're going to be building a causeway over Novato Creek that will be at an elevation such that it will be resilient to sea level rise through year 2130, and it will have ramps up and ramps down to that new causeway over Novato Creek only. Later, there will be a second phase that will remove that ramp up and ramp down and build the entire causeway. This is something you can expect to see in construction being built before 2030. The next one is Sears Point to Mare Island Improvement Project. This has a 2-tiered approach to it. The causeway itself is $2 to $3 billion in this section. So the strategy that the partnership has put together is to put a carpool lane at existing grade. The carpool lane at existing grade will address the immediate transportation emergency that's out there, allowing access to jobs in Marin and Sonoma from the most affordable housing in the Bay Area, which is in Solano County. That project will have the carpool lane for free. It will be a full toll, similar to the other toll bridges in the general purpose lane or the free-flowing lane. It has a price tag of around $490 million. Of that $490 million is approximately $70 million secured. We're looking for the other fund sources to deliver that project in its entirety. It's very likely that an initial phase of this would be developed within the next 2 to 3 years if we cannot be able to find the funds for the entire project. with that, I'll just say thank you and pass it off to Ty, Eddie.
All right, now that the mics are working here. All right, our next speaker is Eddie Cumins from SMART. Equipped with a rich background in railroad management, joined SMART in November 2021. Prior to this, he spent 2 decades in the U.S. Air Force before transitioning to a role in the Utah Transit Authority. There, he oversaw a team of 2,000 employees, facilitating transportation for over 43 million riders annually. Currently, Eddie is spearheading SMART strategic planning for the period standing 2025 to 2029, concentrating on enhancing ridership, developing multi-use paths, and refining railway services, optimizing the freight services. He holds a Master of Science degree in Organizational Leadership from Colorado State University, complemented by a bachelor's degree in Human Resource Development from Southwestern College. Hand for Eddie.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate the opportunity to be here today to speak. I just wanted to share a few things about what's going on at SMART right now. Wanted to talk about some of our recent initiatives, some of the achievements we've had over the past couple of years. Wanted to talk about our ridership recovery. That's been one of our primary focuses. Wanted to talk about some upcoming improvements that we have in the pipeline. And then what's really at the forefront right now today is we're working on our 2024 strategic plan. And then, of course, at the end, I think we'll open it up for questions. Just some recent initiatives, got a long list up there. I won't go through every single one of those, but we are very proud of the things that we've been able to accomplish over the past couple of years. I'll just highlight a couple of them. Fully restored a weekday service. We're currently running 38 trips a day on weekdays. We've extended our weekend service. We're now running 16 trips a day. That's by far the most amount of weekend service we've ran since we began. We extended a 40% discount on fares. One of the big ones that has really been popular is the free field trip program for K through 12 students. When I first arrived, that was one of the big things I heard is teachers talking to us about some of the challenges they had taking kids on field trips, so that was something we were able to accommodate. So that's been a big one. Launched a micro-transit pilot project at airport stations, so that connects airport station to the actual airport. It's an on-demand technology, kind of like Uber and Lyft. So that's there today, making that connection. Something we've been very excited about is that over the past couple of years, since January of 22, Little Tiny Smart's been able to bring in $222.6 million in outside grants. And then on April 1st, just a couple of days ago, we began free fare pilot program for youth and seniors, and again, that began on April 1st. So what's been the result? Well, this is something we're very proud of. This is historical ridership at SMART. You can kind of see where they were at there in around February of 2020, and then you see the pandemic impact. Just about every transit agency in the country has almost the same slide where you can see that, that significant decrease. What I'm happy to report, if you look at the dotted line up towards the top, that is 2019 average monthly ridership. And as you can see, although we've had kind of a seasonal downtrend in our ridership over the past couple of months, we are above that 2019 level, and we are one of the only a few transit agencies in the entire country that can say that. So how does that compare to the Bay Area? Again, happy to report SMART has the highest ridership recovery rate in all the Bay Area. This is comparing us to all of our peers in the area. You can see that this is as of January, that's the latest information we have, but right now we're about 7% above our 2019 level ridership. And what's really cool for me about this is that this compares us to all transit agencies, bus and rail, right? Everybody knows commuter rail took the hardest hit of anybody during the pandemic. So not only are we beating bus, but the other green lines that you see on there are the other commuter rails in the area. So have made some significant progress. So how does it looking? You know, last year we had a pretty decent ridership recovery. We came in at about 640,000 riders in FY23. The all-time record, as you would expect, was in FY19, where we had about 717,000 riders. Based on where we are today, this year, FY24 that ends in June, we are projecting 825,000 riders. And if we pull off that number, it'll be 29% higher than where we were at FY23, and it'll be about 15% higher than 2019. So, with the things that we put in place, obviously we've had some level of success, especially on the ridership side, but we have a lot of things in the pipeline. Number one, we have Petaluma North Station that's under construction right now. Estimated completion date is late 24, so we hope to have that open by the end of December. Windsor is under construction. We plan to open service there in June of 25. We are building pathway segments. We have McGinnis to Smith Ranch Road in Marin County, and then we have Petaluma to Pin Grove, Roanoke Park to Santa Rosa here in Sonoma County. And then we have 12 additional pathway segments that are currently in design and permitting. We also have a project to put in real-time electronic train arrival signage. That's hard for me to say. Electronic train arrival signage. Basically, it's just that sign that'll be up that'll say next train 5 minutes or that type of information. Pathway wayfinding signage. We anticipate having all of that installed in the fall of 24. And we are considering Smart Connect. You know, I talked about the connection we have at the airport. We are in conversations about duplicating that type of service at Larkspur to allow for a connection to the ferry. And then, last but not least on this slide, we're going to make some progress on Healdsburg. We've been successful in bringing in about $106 million. We still have a funding gap there to complete that, but we are seeking 4 separate grants to fully fund that project. We'll see how those goes. You never know on grant funding until it arrives, but we've been very successful, the past couple of years, so we anticipate good news is coming. I get asked all the time, well, what do you plan to get done? One of the main things we want to get done in that section is get the Russian River Bridge replaced. So that'll be priority number 1. Also, we want to complete a pathway segment through that section as we continue to design the rest of the system from Windsor to Healdsburg. So moving on, talking about our strategic plan, there's been a lot of work going on behind the scenes and with the public on this one. Just real quick, strategic plan helps define the strategic direction of the organization. It establishes our goals, our objectives, and actions that are in line with SMART's vision and mission. It promotes collaboration, collective responsibility, and probably most importantly, accountability. 2019 strategic plan that we have today that we're working off of was adopted in November of 2019, and it's required to be updated every 5 years. Have I been behind a slide on every single one? Just one. Yeah, you guys got to give me feedback. What? So this isn't our first time to do any strategic planning. It's been a lot of work, but obviously we have the 2019 strategic plan. Also, when I first arrived at SMART, we did some strategic planning internally. We conducted a SWOT analysis to determine the agency's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. We did a series of listening sessions with the public. And all of that information was collected, and our board created what we refer to as the SMART House. Making sure they flip this time. So this is the SMART House. The foundation of our house is our values, which are safety, integrity, stewardship, and continuous improvement. Our board identified our 4 strategic objectives, which are the pillars of our house. And those are really the big things that the board felt like we needed to make progress on. And that's ridership, pathways, extensions, and freight. The ceiling of our house is our mission statement, simply we connect communities, and the vision statement is smarter transportation for a smarter future. So we've been doing a series of community workshops. We conducted a SWOT analysis on January 31st. This has all been with the public. On February 7th, we did a session on ridership. February 28th was pathways. March 13th, we had a COC workshop where we went over with our Citizens Oversight Committee. March 14th, we conducted a session on extensions, and then March 27th was freight. Upcoming, what's in the pipeline is on August 14th, we have another workshop that we'll be doing with the Citizens Oversight Committee. I've done a lot of SWOT analysis in my time, never with the public, never having 60 people online, which was a very interesting thing, but we use technology to do it. I don't know if you've used Mentimeter before, but that's what we use. Basically, it's voting on your computer or on your phone, helps create these word clouds. I realize you can't read any of that, but I just wanted to have a photo up there just to show you kind of how this all came together. But when we asked the public, what are SMART's strengths, this is what we heard. Clean, bike-friendly, affordable, reliable, and quiet. When asked what were our weaknesses, they pointed out frequency, first and last mile, still gaps in the pathways. They feel like the agency is understaffed, and we have a single-track system. What are the opportunities to improve? Improved frequency, focus on the tourism market. They wanted to see more shuttles at the stations, improved onboard amenities, and improved first and last mile connections. Under threats, what would be the top one? Sales tax renewal, right? That's always at the top of the list. So sales tax renewal, in line with that is funding, increasing cost. Anybody that's in the construction business knows exactly what's happening with escalating cost. And then this phenomenon we refer to as work from home. So as we went through, and at each one of these, again, our strategic objectives, right? What were some of the key themes that popped out? And we went through each one of these. Ridership, they wanted to see greater non-peak service hours and frequency. Wanted, obviously, to improve first and last mile. Increase public awareness and perception through advertising, more marketing. Doing targeted marketing at particular groups. More onboard amenities. Transit service to special events and host events on trains and at our stations. They wanted to ease trip planning and trip making, improve our parking, free and reduced promotional fares, and expand the system. Under pathways, and this is a simple one, and I know we have Harrison there, right? Get it done. That's the next two. I don't have a lot to offer here, right? Extensions and pathway, just get it done. So build the remaining pathway, upgrade the pathway, wayfinding and on and off the pathway, seek more funding, improve marketing and outreach, including pathway maps, and enhance connectivity. Very similar with extensions, complete the extensions, get it done. Pursue grant funding, improve first and last mile and transit connections, and structure service levels for future stations to serve both commute and excursion trips. On freight, this was the most recent one we completed. There was a lot of talk about reconnecting and building spurs along the alignment, engage business to promote SMART's freight service, continue to explore safe storage on our storage tracks, consider transload facilities at strategic locations, more education and outreach to the community, help people better understand freight and the freight business, and continue to seek revenue sources. So here's our timeline for the strategic plan. I won't go through January through March because that's already completed and done, and I've talked about that. April to July, I plan to be out doing more community presentations like this, getting additional feedback, and encourage people to share with us what their thoughts are in regards to the strategic plan. As I mentioned, in August, we have a CSC workshop on August 14th, and then September through October, we will start to kind of draft this plan, put it together, and the hope is that our Citizens Oversight Committee, who is chaired by Danny Sheehan here, will approve that draft strategic plan, and then we would take it to our board for final approval, probably at the December board meeting. So next steps, we want your participation and input. Obviously, I know there's not enough time today here to hear from everyone, but we do have an online comment form that you can go in and share your comments. We'll make sure that that's heard and make sure that we're looking at that as we work on developing the strategic plan. There's the address, SonomaMarinTrain.org/strategic-plan, or you can just simply go to our website, and there's a link on there on the homepage to get you there. Upcoming workshop, again, CSC workshop on August 14th. Spring and summer, be doing more community outreach similar to this, and we will draft the plan in the fall, and the winter we will have our board approve that plan. So Thank you for your time, and look forward to your questions.
All right, can we get a round of applause for Eddie and James? We're gonna invite them up for some questions. We have about 15 minutes to do that, so Paul's walking around the room. Make sure you raise your hand high so we can see you, and we wanna get it through as many questions as we can.
So James, I just have one comment. These roundabouts, okay, growing up back east, we call them traffic circles, right? Can we educate the people on how to, because it scares me every time I get near one of these things. So just, it would help. So with that, I am open to questions.
This is for Smart. 3 quick things. The first is Wi-Fi. The second is Caltrain is electrifying. And the third is, who decides if e-bikes can go on the pathways that pedestrians walk on?
Wow, hard questions. So, Wi-Fi we're working on. You know, that's something that went away during COVID. And when they turned off the system, we learned when we went to turn it back on that we were the only people that had that particular system. So all new equipment is required. So that's something that we are looking at and working on. In the future, we are focused on electrifying. Obviously, our trains were purchased in 2016, 2017 timeframe. They do have a life expectancy, but we are focused on electrifying in the future. I was actually talking to my board chair just last week about potentially doing a site visit at another location and taking a look at some battery electric trains. So that's on the radar. And then what was the last one? E-bikes. So that's a tough one, right? That's a tough one. Right now, we haven't created any rules. The board hasn't created any rules about e-bikes being on the pathways. There have been some conversations about do there need to be speed limit signs put up and limiting that. But right now, nothing's been done on that. But to answer your question, it would be our board that would be making that policy. Thank you.
Hello, my question has to do with integration with local bus connections. So I've noticed that you didn't really identify that as any of your weaknesses, but especially in the city of Santa Rosa, I feel that the bus connection between SMART and local and countywide buses is particularly bad. And I'm wondering if there's any plans at all to either reroute the buses or restructure service in a way that allows people to more easily transfer between buses and the SMART train.
Yes, there's a lot of conversations going on by that, and when we use the term first and last mile, that's kind of what we mean is those connections as well. Getting people to and from the stations, right, and where they actually want to go to. There's a lot of conversations happening right now. James is a part of that group where we're meeting and really taking a look at the corridor. I will tell you what the real challenge is, and to be honest with you, SMART's a big part of the problem. We run 32-minute headways. That's a problem, okay? That's the way the system was designed. That's where it's at. The trains have to pass one another. We can create a schedule that says we're going to run a 30-minute schedule, but we can't meet it, right? And so that's a challenge. So what has to happen is there has to be some strategic double tracking put in the future that would allow SMART more opportunities to pass and would get us down to our 30-minute headways, which would then better align with bus. But we do understand it's a challenge, and that's a long-term fix, right? So we have been working with others and talking about how we can better do that. One way that could happen is with this microtransit idea that circulates and feeds into the bus system better. But those conversations are actively happening. I can tell you, at least in my 2 years here, I haven't seen more coordination than we've had probably in the past 6 months with bus and rail and all the providers, all the transportation agencies in both Marin and Sonoma County. So we've really turned a corner there. There's a lot of good communication happening. So we're working on a solution, and we do realize that it is a problem.
Quick question in the back here. So we've got a local historical challenge with deferred road and infrastructure maintenance here in our, you stand in the mic. Oh, I'm coming at you too, Eddie. So can you educate us on where the maintenance lies as far as future funding? You know, do we need to be out ahead of it? Is it included in some of the programming that you all have achieved in your current funding?
So I have good news and then bad news, right, along that front, right? So the good news comes in that when Go Sonoma goes into effect, there is a significant increase, almost double the local road funding going out to all the jurisdictions. It's primarily used to fix potholes and road maintenance. The current percentage is at 20%. It goes up to 38% to give you an idea of dollars that's associated with that. In fiscal year 23, you know, we put $2.7 million out, and so that number is going to just about double when Go Sonoma goes into effect. The way that those investments are informed is through a program that the Metropolitan Transportation Commission requires all of our jurisdictions to use that's called Street Saver, and it puts in a street pavement condition index across all the streets. There's a vital signs website that MTC maintains that you can go and see like what the pavement condition is of your individual street. And it's up to the jurisdictions to program those funds and then report out annually how they're using them. That's the good news. The bad news is with regard to the majority of those funds that actually come from the gas tax, right? Looking forward, it's looking like somewhere around 2026, 2027, you're going to be able to buy a new battery electric car for less than what you can buy an internal combustion engine car. The shift that is taking hold in California more than other counties, other states, and very much so in Sonoma County, is going to reduce that gas tax to where somewhere in the between 2030 and 2035, it's going to be half, and then it's only going to go down rapidly from there. So looking forward to how we're going to address that situation, you'll see organizations like Transportation California ramping up their public messaging. I think we all need to be part of that discussion on how we're going to replace the gas tax and what we're going to use for a sustainable funding source, not just within this county, but statewide, to be able to maintain that critical infrastructure that all modes of travel require.
Hi, I'm Lisa Carino with United Way of the Wine Country. We have our IRS accessibility audit today because we're an IRS grantee for our tax site at United Way. And Eddie, your presentation made me wonder, of all of the community outreach and feedback that you're receiving, I'm curious about what kind of feedback and comments you're receiving from non-English speakers and also from people with access and functional needs about their utilization of SMART and the accessibility needs that they have and the wayfinding needs that they have.
Yeah, we hear that voice loud and clear. You know, it's been pointed out that we could do a better job on some of our signage. We have a program that's underway right now, making sure that we have everything in both English and Spanish. But there have been some areas identified that we could do a better job with our Spanish. Some of the things that I've heard from the EEA community is the connection at Larkspur. That's a difficult area to get from the train down to the ferry terminal. It's accessible, it meets the thing, but it doesn't make it easy, right? And so that's one of them. And the other one is Marin Civic Center that we hear a lot about. And so those are two areas that we're working on finding solutions to. Thank you for the question.
Jack Swearinger with Friends of Smart. I'm transportation enthusiast as well as an engineer. And two things that have come up already triggered a thought in my mind. And by the way, every thought I've ever had right before you've already thought about it. So probably you've got the answer already. But your issue with distance or time between trains and first last mile are made to order for AI. That's the exact kind of problem that AI is thirsting to solve. So you've got a solution waiting, or a tool, powerful tool waiting for you. All you have to do is buy it and harness it.
Right. I think AI would tell me that I need more double tracking south of Haystack Bridge. Anybody can only imagine how difficult it's going to be to double track south of Haystack Bridge, right? So that's going to be a difficult one, but all the modeling that I've looked at and things, I mean, we haven't got to the point to where it's, pinpointed, identified where that double tracking needs to be, but it's obvious. Right, when you look at it, it's going to be south of Haystack Bridge, and that double tracking section needs to be extended. So, yeah, but I think that's what AI would tell me. Yes, oh yeah, good stuff. Thank you.
So for Smart here, hey, your comments and conversation about the last mile, the connect and all this and that, and special connections at Larkspur and Marine Civic Center. As a resident of the Larkfield area and living near LBC, it occurs to me would it be possible, it seems like it'd be fairly easy, to extend Sonoma Connect over to the LBC for their special events? When you said something about special event connections, it seems that would be relatively easy because LBC's events are typically off commute hours. That Sonoma Connect sits there a lot. My office is out on Skylane Boulevard, so I drive past the airport station twice a day at least, and I just see Sonoma Connect just sitting there a lot, and so it could use more passengers.
Yeah, thank you for that. It's something that we're watching. We call it a pilot program. We're really seeing, obviously the main connection is going to be getting people to and from the train and to and from the airport, right? That's number one. But we have extended the area on the weekends, so like you can ride in on the weekends, hop on Smart Connect, and I think it's like 25 different wineries and breweries you can visit on the weekend and don't have to drink and drive, just hop on Smart Connect. We are looking if we can extend the circle and allow enough time for all of that to happen. And so we have a team of folks that are watching that on a daily basis and willing to make some adjustments. So yeah, that's definitely something that I think as we develop this strategic plan of looking at how we can optimize that. To be honest with you, in the beginning, we didn't want to overcommit, right? We want people to be able to know, because obviously your airport connections are very, very important, right? You can't be late. So we wanted to make sure that we didn't overcommit. People come in on the train, they know that they're going to get to the airport on time. But as time goes on, we'll be able to see how we're making those connections and how much additional time we have to do other things in the area.
I like the LBC is an easy target.
Thank you. Noted.
James, so SCTA you mentioned did a fantastic job getting 5-to-1 support for, if you didn't catch that, we got $5 of grants for every $1 our sales tax generated. So, and if you want to know what that means, Sonoma County's done. It's one of the reasons why Marin County's still trying to finish Highway 101. But, so you've had great infrastructure. Are we going to be able to, do you have the infrastructure, will we be able to get that same 5-to-1 match for Go Sonoma?
So it's really about picking the projects that will compete best for those fund sources, right? And I think the short answer is we're going to get close. Right, as of right now, we don't have projects that compete at a 5-to-1 ratio for that type of fund sources, with the exception of the SMART projects. The SMART projects are crushing it right now. We have, I can tell you which path segments need funding. They're a priority to us. We're helping, fund those as well. The majority of the grant funding sources that we're going after right now leverage funds between 2 and 4 times the dollars that we're going after. And then we still have local needs that don't compete for fund sources very well. So we don't want to ignore those local needs that require more local investment. At the same time, we are incentivizing all of the jurisdictions to go after and try to meet those leveraging numbers. And I can give you a couple examples right off the top where we've done really good coming out the gate, where we said to all our jurisdictions back in 21, give us your whole list of projects. Everything that you see is your top 5 priorities. As soon as we got that list, the first thing we did is we went and said, okay, these transit grants that our transit operators need for capital improvements, we're going to go ahead and we're going to put together an application on their behalf. So we went ahead without $1 of Go Sonoma or sales tax money. We were able to put together a grant and pull in $25 million to fund those transit improvements. So it's not as clean of a calculation as it is for the 101, but I can tell you that we are looking for every opportunity to leverage our sales tax and go after fund sources. And that list that I put up there is a very short list. I could give any one of you a matrix that has a couple hundred lines of grant opportunities between the IRA and the IIJA that are 2 of the federal bills out there that we are actively seeking and applying for funds from.
Do we have any other questions? One more.
So this is a question for Mr. Anderson, and I noticed in that chart that you showed us about where the money from Go Sonoma is going to be going, there's a huge improvement for bus service. And I'm wondering what that's going to look like. Are we going to see more buses on the lines, better buses, more shelters and stuff like that? So what exactly is that investment going to look like when we see it?
Short answer, yes. And that's like a solid yes. You are going to see that. There's not a doubt. The more detailed answer goes along the lines of we have been working on a transit integration within this county, particularly with our 3 bus operators. We have a transit service plan that's in draft form right now that you'll see released to the public in May that addresses some of the overlapping service between some of our bus operators and how we can recognize savings by not having multiple bus operators on the same route at the same time. And what that does is then that will free up funding to provide better service at other locations. The increase in funding for transit does double. When it actually does a little bit more than double, but you have 10% within the original sales tax that is for enhanced service, and then that is going to increase to 18% that our transit operators are going to be able to put towards enhancing the service they provide. There's a couple other exciting subcategories to that. One is 2% for fare passes, right? So how can we take 2% of our sales tax measure and incentivize folks to use transit? Basically, paying people to get out of their car, right? How can we make transit more accessible, entice folks to use transit? The other subcategory is our commuter program, or TDM, which stands for Travel Demand Management. So that's 3% of the sales tax that's going to allow us to study and then implement so the implementation we're targeting in summer of 2025, right, when the funds come in. But over the next year, we'll be studying, how do we take that microtransit model that SMART's got up at the airport, how do we duplicate that at other SMART stations? We're going to have a bike share program go live this summer that SCTA is implementing along the SMART corridor with hubs, to and from the SMART corridor, where you'll be able to get off the SMART train, jump on a shared e-bike, and then take it, pretty close to your destination or final destination to get home. So those travel demand management programs and implementing them are one more piece of that, first and last mile. I will just add that when we look at transit and the opportunities that are there right now, I've never seen in my career so much momentum behind it. And, the coordination, not just with our 3 bus operators, but with SMART, Golden Gate Transit, as well as Marin Transit, to be able to provide that best user experience is where we're focused right now. And the grant opportunities and the funding sources, the support of the Metropolitan Transportation Commission, this is the shift that we are in, and you will see an increase in service.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen, very much. Great topic, good information. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and thoughts and excellent questions. So with that, I'd like to get back organized. Announce our elected officials. Jeff Okrepski, Santa Rosa City Council, Nisa Hinton, Sebastopol City Council, and Keith Roberts representing James Gore. Next month, May 1st, the topic is Sonoma County Education, and we are honored to have Dr. Amy Carter and Larkin O'Leary here as our guest speakers. As always, Sonoma County Alliance is a volunteer organization. It takes a room full and more to keep us moving forward and being relevant. So please, education next month. Golf tournament. I'm getting there. Come on, Brian. I got notes. And the microphone's working. So everyone stop, the doors are locked. Just relax. We're a volunteer organization. It takes, Sonoma County, and thank you for you being members, but please bring guests. Please ask them to join. Their knowledge, their understanding of Sonoma County, them sitting on our boards, our committees, advisory council, board itself is very important. It brings relevance, it brings new ideas, new thoughts. So that's our driving factor this year. So Brian Lynn, we have a golf tournament coming up. It's very important. Please sign up, be a member. We also have bocce for bucks. If you've never been to bocce for bucks, it is amazing. Thank you, Mike Martini, for allowing us to come to Taft Street and take over the winery. It is a beautiful event for a great cause. So with that, thank you all, and we'll see you in May.
you.